Winners aren't born, they're built through the choices they make every single day. One of the most powerful choices a person can make is to believe in themselves, even when there's no evidence around them to justify that belief. That's what sets winners apart. Their ability to have faith in a future they haven't seen yet. They don't wait for external validation or guarantees. They make a decision deep within to trust their own potential. This kind of belief isn't about being overly confident or blind to challenges. It's about choosing not to let fear or doubt dictate your actions. Everyone hears that little voice that says, "You're not good enough. What if you fail? Or why even try?" But winners don't give those voices power. They hear them, sure, but they don't obey them. Instead, they respond with, "I'm still going, I'm still showing up, and I've got more in me." Belief is a mindset, and like any mindset, it's a habit. It's built through repetition. Every time you push forward despite fear, every time you start over after a failure, every time you bet on yourself when no one else will, over time, that belief compounds. It becomes strength. It becomes focus. It becomes part of your identity. Choosing belief is not about being naive. It's about being resilient. It's about seeing obstacles as part of the path, not the end of it. Winners don't wait for permission to believe. They give it to themselves. They understand that the first and most important battle is in the mind. Once you've won there, the rest of the world starts to catch up. That's the power of belief. That's the first step to thinking and living like a winner. Resilience is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. It's the invisible armor that keeps winners standing when the world expects them to fall. Everyone faces setbacks, disappointments, and failures. It's part of life. But what defines a winner is not how many times they fall, it's how many times they rise. That ability to keep getting up, to keep pushing forward when everything in you says stop. That's the true essence. Most people see failure as a finish line. Winners see it as feedback. When things don't go their way, they don't crumble. They reflect, they adapt, and they move forward with more clarity than before. They understand that each fall is a lesson in disguise. It's an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to come back stronger. Failure doesn't shake their identity, it sharpens it. Resilience isn't about being unaffected by pain or disappointment. It's about choosing to keep going despite them. It's about having the emotional strength to face rejection, hear no, be misunderstood, and still stay committed to the vision. Winners train their minds to handle pressure. They don't avoid adversity. They lean into it, knowing that every tough moment is building something in them that comfort never could. This kind of resilience doesn't happen overnight. It's built in the moments when no one is watching. It's built when you talk yourself back into the fight after a loss, when you stay committed even when motivation fades. Over time, resilience becomes your foundation. It gives you staying power. And in a world that gives up too easily, staying power is everything. The person who refuses to quit, who gets back up every time, they are the one who wins in the end. Not because they had an easy road, but because they never stopped walking it. Motivation is a great spark, but it's not a reliable engine. It comes and goes like the weather. Some days you feel it, other days you don't. The difference between someone who wants to win and someone who actually does is found in what they do when motivation is gone. Winners don't rely on feeling inspired, they rely on discipline. Discipline is the muscle that moves you forward when your emotions try to hold you back. There will be days when everything in you wants to hit snooze, skip the work, or give less than your best. In those moments, discipline is what keeps you aligned with your purpose. It's the inner agreement you make with yourself that says, "I do this, not because I feel like it, but because I said I would." Winners understand that discipline builds consistency, and consistency builds results. Waiting for motivation is like waiting for the wind to blow in your direction. You might wait forever. But discipline? Discipline says, let's move anyway. It creates momentum. And once you build momentum, motivation has a way of showing up again. But this time, it's chasing you. Discipline also brings structure. It trains your mind to stay focused, to shut out distractions, and to value long-term gains over short-term comfort. It teaches you to act on your goals whether the world is cheering you on or not. That's the edge winners have. While others pause to feel ready, winners keep moving. In the end, success doesn't go to the most motivated. It goes to the most consistent. And consistency is born from discipline. Day in, day out, no matter the mood, no matter the weather, no matter the odds. That's the work ethic of a winner. It's not flashy, but it's unbreakable. Confidence isn't about walking into a room and thinking you're better than everyone else. It's about walking into a room and knowing you belong there. Winners don't wait for permission to believe in themselves. They carry an inner conviction that says, I have a purpose here. That kind of confidence doesn't come from ego, it comes from alignment with your mission. When you know why you're doing what you're doing, you don't need applause to feel worthy. You already know what you bring to the table. This mindset allows winners to stay grounded, even in high-pressure situations. They're not easily shaken because their sense of self doesn't depend on the opinions of others. They're not out to prove people wrong. They're out to prove themselves right. That subtle shift in thinking changes everything. It makes your actions more intentional, your focus sharper, and your presence undeniable. Having confidence rooted in purpose also helps you make decisions with clarity. You stop chasing trends and start trusting your own direction. You stop hesitating because you realize hesitation is the enemy of momentum. Winners move with intention because they understand that doubt can be louder than failure, and they refuse to let it take the wheel. When you believe you are built for something bigger, your energy changes, you speak differently, you carry yourself differently, and people feel it. It's not arrogance, it's certainty. It's knowing you're not here by accident. And that belief gives you the strength to step into challenges with courage, to lead when others hesitate, and to keep going even when the path is unclear. Winners don't just show up, they show up with presence. They walk with purpose. And because of that, they don't just participate, they shift the room. That's the quiet power of confidence rooted in purpose. The world sees the results, but it rarely sees the process. What looks like overnight success is almost always the product of silent, consistent work done far away from the spotlight. Winners understand this deeply. They know that the real transformation doesn't happen on the stage. It happens in the shadows. It's built in the early mornings, the late nights, the quiet hours when nobody's clapping and no one's watching. That's where the mindset of a winner is truly forged. In those private moments, discipline is tested, doubts creep in, the temptation to quit becomes loud. But it's also in those moments where something powerful grows, mental toughness, the ability to keep showing up, to keep grinding, even when the results are invisible, is what separates winners from everyone else. They don't need instant validation because they trust the process. They plant the seeds in silence and are patient enough to wait for the harvest. Growth takes place where there is struggle. Winners know that the discomfort they feel in the dark is not a punishment. It's preparation. It's sharpening their character, building their patience, and teaching them resilience. They embrace the isolation because they understand that mastery isn't built in crowds. It's built in the quiet repetition of effort, day after day. While others may quit, when the applause fades, winners keep pushing because their motivation comes from within. They're not fueled by attention. They're fueled by purpose. They're not trying to impress anyone. They're becoming someone. And by the time the world takes notice, the real work has already been done. Success for a winner is just the surface. The mindset, the grind, the silent nights, that's the foundation. And without that foundation, nothing truly lasting can stand. That's why the dark matters, because that's where the light is born. Winners have a unique ability to see things before they exist. They hold a vision in their minds that feels real, even when there's no proof around them to back it up. That's not imagination, it's belief in motion. It's seeing the finish line before the race begins. While most people wait to believe in something until it's visible, winners do the opposite. They believe first, and that belief fuels the actions that eventually make the vision real. This mindset requires courage. It takes strength to pursue something no one else can see. People might doubt you, question your goals, or even laugh at your ambition. But winners don't wait for approval. They don't need someone else to understand the dream in order to chase it. They understand that every breakthrough starts in the mind, and if they can see it clearly enough, they can work toward it relentlessly, no matter how far off it seems. When the vision is strong, the work becomes meaningful. Every small step feels like progress because it's connected to a bigger picture. Winners don't get distracted by what they don't have yet. They stay locked in on what they're building. Their mindset isn't controlled by their current circumstances, it's led by where they're going. That ability to see beyond the moment keeps them moving when others would stop. It keeps them focused during setbacks, patient during slow seasons, and hungry even after success. Vision gives them direction. It gives their actions purpose and their sacrifices meaning. By the time others finally recognize the result, the winner has already lived it in their mind 100 times. That's why their actions are so confident, because they're not guessing. They're following a path they've already walked internally, and that inner vision is what turns dreams into reality.